Anthony Villa for Marvel Latin News. Thank you, Ben, for taking a little bit of your time.
Hi, Anthony. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Um, Congratulations on this series on what you have achieved. I
Thank you.
think a great adaptation of Cross was accomplished, which is why we will have a second season. Um, I believe the fact that this was a series and not a movie allowed for much deeper exploration of the character. As the creator, do you think that was helpful?
Yes, yes. I think that when you start thinking about whether or not to adapt this for television, you have to be asking yourself, what can you bring to the table? What can you bring to the table that, would move the depiction forward? And when I was reading the books and I was going through some of the things, I realized that there were some limitations to what the movies could do because they didn't have as much time. There, especially if it's a mystery where you have to have twists and turns. If you're forced to choose between plot and character, sometimes you have to choose plot, and I totally understand that. But if you're doing television, oh, now we got 8 episodes. Now I can give you a really intricate plot and all the twists and turns that you expect from a thriller, but I can also dig into these characters, especially Alex Cross. And so that was a priority for us.
Awesome. I think that the way the themes of the relationship between the black community and the law enforcement, the mental health, friendship were
Mhm,
handled very well. Was very well done. Uh, it's done. Don't feel like the series was preaching and trying to
mhm.
say something, very explicit, but rather,
Yeah.
like was a reflection of real life. Um, was this your goal as the creator?
Yes. Yes. I think that um for me as a fan, I really lean into characters that I can relate with. And that means they need to be going through a lot of the same things that I go through. And they need to be responding to a lot of the themes and topics that are relevant in our day and age. Like, for example, in Cross, we have to be able to touch on the relationship between law enforcement and the Black community. But we also have to approach it organically, and so if it's raining outside and people get wet, and that's just part of life. And so if there's some strife between the law enforcement and the Black community, then there's conflict, and it's just part of life. If you are working hard to solve a crime and that means that you don't get to spend as much time with your kids, there's going to be a byproduct of that that is just part of life. And so for me, it's to organically build it into the fabric of the storytelling instead of trying to preach. I told the writers, and our approach was we can touch on almost anything because audiences, they're fine with dealing with controversy and having tough conversations, but we cannot lie and we cannot preach. And that was the two rules.
Awesome. Um, to wrap up, I will ask you to be the one to invite the audience to watch the series.
Oh, yeah. I would love to invite everyone to come and watch this series that has, for me as a crime fan, the perfect combination. You will come and get exactly what you want out of a thriller and more. Great villain, great mystery, and of course, a great hero at the center of it who's very relatable. But when you get there, you're going to be surprised to find amazing characters who have flaws and struggles and dimensions that we can all relate to. As we like to say on our show, you're going to show up for the mystery, but you're going to stay for the characters.
Awesome. Ben, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ethel. It was great talking with you.
Thank you.